Welcome. My name is Mr. Sunarine, and today's lesson will look at how can we solve story problems in perimeter and area. Before we get into today's lesson, we're going to be looking at what is area and perimeter. Area is the space occupied by a flat shape or the surface of an object. And we use the formula area is equal to length times width. So in this example below, we see that in this rectangle we have a width of 3 centimeters and a length of 5 centimeters. In order to find the area, we do need to know the length and the width. So here we could plug it into the formula. 3 times 5 equals 15. And be careful with the area when you're writing your units and your final answer. It's whatever the units are squared. The reason why it's squared is because we're multiplying by 2 dimensions, hence why it's squared. So the final answer is 15 centimeters squared. Our next concept that we're going to be looking at is perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around the two-dimensional shape. And we use the formula perimeter is equal to 2 times length plus width. So in the same example, I just labeled the length and width around the whole rectangle. We know that the width is 3 centimeters, the length is 5 centimeters, and the same thing on the other side. When we're calculating a perimeter, we plug it into the formula, 2 parentheses, and we're going to include the lengths and width, which is 3 and 5. So in doing orders of operations, we do 3 plus 5 is 8, and then finally 2 times 8 is 16. And when we write our perimeter, it's going to be 16 centimeters. The only one that has centimeters squared is area. Because it's perimeter, we just have the units listed here. Okay, so know the distinction between area and perimeter. Now we're going to move into our first problem. The area of Mason's rectangular painting is 72 square inches. The width of the painting is 8 inches. In this problem, we want you to label the side lengths of Mason's painting. What is the length of the painting? What is the perimeter of Mason's painting? So pause the video, think about how you would work through each of these problems, and we will compare your answers with the one that is on the next slide. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, so in order to start this problem, we want to read and understand what is given so that we can find other missing information. In the problem, it is listed that the width of the painting is 8 inches. We also know that the area is 72 square inches. So we can use this piece of information to move along in the problem. So we label the 8 inches part of the problem, and we need to figure out what is the length. In order to figure out the length, we can use the area formula. Since we know that the area is 72 inches squared, we can plug it into the area formula. Area is equal to length times width. We do know that the area is 72, and we do know that the width is 8. So therefore, we have the L, which is missing, and that's what we need to solve for. So when we set up our problem, we're going to be doing 72 is equal to 8L. And in order to solve for L, we're going to do inverse operations. By doing that, we divide 8 on both sides. The L is isolated, and 72 divided by 8 is 9. So L is 9, therefore the length is 9 inches, and that's how we can calculate the piece over here. The last step, what we're going to be doing is what is the perimeter of Mason's painting. So in order to figure out the perimeter, we need to know the formula. The perimeter formula is perimeter is equal to 2 times length plus width. So we do know the length, we do know the width, and we could plug it in. And then when we do orders of operations, 8 plus 9 is 17, and 2 times 17 is 34. Therefore, the perimeter of Mason's painting is 34 inches. Okay. We're going to move on to our last problem. Mason's mom hangs a painting on a wall that already have two other of Mason's paintings. The area of the other paintings are 64 square inches and 81 square inches. What is the total area of the wall that is covered with Mason's painting? So pause the video, think about how you would solve this, and we're going to compare your answers on the one on the slide, on the next slide. Okay, so in order to do this, sometimes it might be helpful to have some visuals. So in the previous problem, we had painting 1, which is what we calculated, which is 72 inches squared. And in this problem, we are given painting 2 and painting 3. Painting 2, we know that has 64 inches squared, and painting 3, we have 81 square inches. Okay, so in order to find the total area, total meaning adding, we're going to add these three values up. And from here, we would be able to figure out the total area of the wall that is covered with Mason's paintings. Okay, so we can use this formula. The total area is the first area plus the second area plus the third area. And if we add those three values up, we get a total of 217 inches squared, or squared inches. Okay, so we're going to move on to our summarization. So in thinking about this lesson, how can we solve word problems in perimeter and area? Know the formulas for perimeter and area, and find the length and width of the figure. When you know the length and width of the figure, calculating the perimeter and area would be straightforward because you can fill in the missing information to calculate what you're solving for. Hope this was helpful and have a great day.